something that, for me, it probably started back in the late 80s. I got to know Bob Zaff real well, who I think is one of the best district attorneys I've ever met in my life. And that if you want to have somebody work on your behalf as a victim or a witness, that's what you want to have. I believe Bob started the victim witness program here. And early on, I got to meet Lynn Copen. And I got to see some of her caseload. And I will tell you, I was devastated coming from a relatively sheltered lifestyle as a youngster to see the types of cases that people in victim witness take on. So as the bug gets planted, as I got elected county executive, I said, if there's any space, I know space is at a premium, but we could use an area for a victim witness program. And I will tell you that in the move from IT over to the safety building, in the back of my mind for those words of the district attorney, and I know that this space will be well utilized. Tremendous efforts have been done by the district attorney's office, Bob Zaff under his direction, victim witness of Heather and Brian Shute, then solicited these very generous donations from Ashley Furniture, everything in this room. We just paid to have the carpet shampooed, we shampooed it ourselves, and then painted the walls, and we painted those. And then the rest of the furniture was donated by Ashley Furniture, and the TV and the refrigerator by Grand Appliance. And then in that door is $500 worth of toys donated by Walmart. So I think, so that, and Bob will speak to the point about not being re-victimized by walking by your perpetrator, but I think it's very important for children, as I understand through the years, that they not run into the perpetrator or have as infrequent contact as possible. So my hat's off to the district attorney's office working with us to have patience and end up with a very nice space for those who are have something awful happen to them or their family.
Well, thank you. I want to let it known that this could not have been possible without our county executive, Jim Coot. As he indicated, it's been a number of years since the Victim Witness Program began on August 4th of 1981. So this August, it'll be 30 years that the program was originally created under the direction of Lynn Copen. And here we are all these years later, and we're very fortunate and blessed to be able to have space in the courthouse so that we can provide what the statutes under Wisconsin law provide, that there's to be a secure waiting room for victims and witnesses. And as you can see what the after looks like. What you don't know is what the before looks like. And there's just certainly been a wonderful additions to this effort here. And we'd like to take special thank you to Ashley Furniture for coming in and doing some of the interior decorating and the furniture, a Grand Appliance again for the TV and some of the other items, and Walmart for the donation of some toys. We're certainly going to put this room to use. We're hoping to plan a very small open house. We're keeping the room itself a little bit more of a low key insofar as that it's supposed to be secure and a protected area in the courthouse, so we're not going to put a big sign on the outside of the door, but certainly it will get used by all of our victims and witnesses. And I'd like to give a special thank you to two folks. Brian, come on over here. Brian Stute and Heather, come on over. Brian was instrumental in taking the leadership on behalf of Sandra Patelli, our victim witness coordinator, to get these donations. And without his efforts in doing that, we wouldn't have been able to get these generous donations. So with that, I want to thank our county executive, our county board of supervisors for giving us this space. We're now in compliance with our statutory obligation. And Brian, why don't you say a few words?
Well, again, a lot of thanks to the county executive. Having this room will be an excellent tool to have for the families and child victims and witnesses that come and participate in the court process. It's going to be instrumental to their comfort to not have to constantly walk past defendants' families, or sit out in a hallway on a hard wooden bench for hours at a time waiting to have to go testify about an incident that's probably one of the most traumatic things that they've had to deal with in their lives. So having a place like this would be very, very important for them in dealing with the court process and not re-victimizing them when they have to come participate in the court process. So
Yeah,
very
that's what,
lucky to have this space.
that's what I was gonna ask. What was the situation before? Just pretty much like the general public, or?
They sit in the hallway where the general public is welcome. It's important to keep in mind that in most criminal cases, the courts will sequester and exclude witnesses from the courtroom, meaning that one witness can't hear the other witness. That's pretty standard. And so that means that the victims and witnesses would be excluded from the courtroom to go where? And where they were going was generally commingling in the hallway with anyone else that would be there, part of the public and so forth. Just to give you a footnote, as a practical matter, just a couple of weeks ago we had a homicide by intoxicated use case, jury trial. And after the case was given to the jury, they went out to deliberate, and the family was permitted to come down here and wait. The verdict came back relatively short span of time, and the court said, you know, we're going to take this verdict. And I scurried around quickly to see where our victims and the family were, and fortunately they had come down here. So within a matter of minutes after being notified of the verdict, we were able to get them from their nice waiting room down here up to the courtroom, and they were there to be present when the verdict was returned. So this is going to be certainly a welcome addition to our program that we have. Heather?
Yes, it definitely will be for not just child victims, but any type of trials that we have where there's sensitive issues. They're not going to have to be out in the hallway, you know, sitting around waiting. It's a safe spot. They can keep their mind off things by watching TV, playing games, cards, things like that. Because half of it is the struggle is the waiting, you know, the waiting and waiting for the trial, waiting for their turn. So this will definitely be a great asset for us.
If you don't mind, we'll give you a walking tour